Well, now, the future King, Prince William, has flipped his royal duties for flipping burgers yesterday. Veggie burgers, to be exact. Burger van diners in central London were shocked to find Wills dishing up McWope Whoppers to raise awareness of his Earthshot Environmental Awards. Well, joining me to discuss this is the host of the To Die For Daily podcast, Kinsey Schofield, who is live from LA. Now, Kinsey, great to see you. Earthshot is something super close to William's heart, isn't it?
Absolutely, Alex. And I mean, and great to see you too. You know, I'm a huge fan of yours. No better way to show Prince William's commitment to a life of service than shoving the heir to the throne in a food truck to literally serve shocked customers in central London. I mean, this was such a great execution. And he was trying to raise awareness for Earthshot. This, along with homelessness, he wants this to be his legacy, how we can leave the world a better place than we found it. So he collaborated with these YouTube influencers, sorted food to create burgers with some of the ingredients that were created by some Earthshot prize winners. So, I mean, what a fun execution. What a cute way to get the word out. We're all falling for it. Look at us talking about it right now. And I think it's an interesting way to make the future king more relatable and attainable and less out of touch.
But weren't these burgers like potato burgers or something? Like two bits of bread with a spud in the middle? I can't quite understand that. Do you think that he runs the risk of going a bit in the direction of his father and being a little bit too green and a little bit too environmentally friendly?
I think that's a great question. But I do imagine that he's got some really great handlers that are trying to measure that, when it might go overboard and when it might offend or distance people. I don't think that that's how this is coming across in this particular case, but perhaps it could in the future. Hopefully his handlers and the people around him are very cautious about that.
I mean, it sounds to me this is sort of Team Cambridge 1 and Team Sussex 0 again, because at the same time, we're not talking about Harry and Meghan in a positive light. Instead, we're reading that apparently the Duke and Duchess of Montecito have fallen out with Posh and Becks.
Oh, absolutely. This is wild. This is a story that circulated a few years ago that Prince Harry approached David Beckham and accused Victoria of leaking a story about where Meghan was getting her hair done because it was at Victoria's favorite salon. We come to find out later on that it was a receptionist, Alex. It wasn't Victoria, as if Victoria's the Spice Girl is picking up the phone and leaking stories about Meghan Markle. And it really created friction between the two couples. But I don't believe this idea that Meghan and Harry dumped the Beckhams. I believe that it's the Beckhams that distance themselves because, as you know, I mean, just imagine David standing in that queue to pay his respects to the Queen. I believe that the royal family is very important to the Beckham family, and their allegiance is with the royals.
It's interesting you say that because I think increasingly the Meghan and Harry are being ditched in the Hollywood Hills by those who are sort of worried about their own image and who they associate with. But there is a term, isn't there, as I understand, in Hollywood, that you can be Meghaned. That's when she suddenly decides that you're not useful to her anymore, and so essentially you get shuffled out of the friendship circle.
It's worse than that, Alex. It's Markled. I mean, it sounds like a disease. It is. And, this leads us right into the story about the Clooneys. Perhaps the Clooneys are on the outs with Harry and Meghan as well. Again, I would stress, I think that it's the Clooneys, similar to the Obamas, that have distanced themselves from Harry and Meghan. If you look at the Beckhams, the Clooneys, the Obamas, these are mature individuals that avoid drama at all costs. And Harry and Meghan attract it. And I think that they also thrive on it. So I do think that that's why you're seeing some of the elite turn their backs on Harry and Meghan.
I mean, where do they go from here? Because it seems to me they're running out of road a little bit in terms of their capital, their kudos, the sort of things they can whine about. I mean, what on earth is on the cards for Meghan? She's been having some appointments with various people, hasn't she? Looking at potentially having a makeup brand, perfume. And where do you think she's going to go?
Yeah, Alex, there were also talks of a subscription service. So you pay a monthly fee and I don't know, maybe you get a box of Meghan's favorite things, or maybe you get a box of brown shorts. We don't get a lot from her these days. in regards to content. So I think that she's going to try to be similar to Gwyneth Paltrow. And I do think that with William Morris Endeavor, they have a chance to really work behind the scenes and excel, because William Morris Endeavor can go find a great script, use some of their A-list talent, take it to Netflix, and create a series or a movie that will really succeed because of the content and the A-list talent. Nothing to do with Meghan in the background as the producer or whatever. So that's a possibility for them, and that's probably their best hope at this point, that William Morris Endeavor can save some of these opportunities for them.
Gosh, the idea of some sort of Meghan Markle muff candle is quite appalling, really. Now, Fergie has been seen out and about, hasn't she, post her operation for breast cancer?
Yes, and you know, we're seeing her with Prince Andrew. I truly do love the idea of Prince Andrew being there for Fergie. It's almost given him, some. Seeing him support Fergie, it's given him a new lease on life. And you're not seeing him so woe is me, swept up in his personal and professional drama. You know, I think a lot of us are looking at the two of them and the relationship they have today, and honestly admiring it, admiring the way that they support each other. You know, other people would have turned their backs on them, and they seem to really be there for one another. So I think she's legitimately grateful to have her ex so near and dear.
It's a funny old relationship, isn't it? Those two got divorced eons ago, and yet they still cohabit. They seem to continue to be one another's rocks. And I'm surely Prince Andrew is pretty happy that, you know, on one hand, you've got Prince William serving up potato burgers, and on the other hand, you've got Harry and Meghan making a disaster of their lives.
Yeah, I mean, it's taken the pressure off him for sure, but I'm 100% with you. I need to know, are we friends with benefits? What's happening behind the scenes? I don't know if I could hang around so long.
Yeah, we all want to know if those toes are being sucked, don't we? Kinsey Schofield, fantastic to have you on the programme. Always a delight talking to you, live from lovely, warm LA. Look at that.